Hello amazing artists, this is Mr. D, and for this video we are going to create a really cool pattern out of objects found in nature. So a pattern is a principle of design, and basically what a pattern is it's a repetition of different types of art elements. So for today we are going to use a repetition of organic shapes. Now you remember that we created there was a video where we created some animals out of geometric shapes, which are the perfect man-made shapes like circles, squares, triangles. Well, today we're going to create a pattern out of organic shapes, and organic shapes are just shapes found in nature. So rocks would have an organic shape, flowers would have an organic shape. And today I'm going to be using rocks and flowers to create my pattern. However, you don't have to use rocks and flowers. You're going to need a lot of whatever object from nature that you find. Rocks are a good one because they're usually easily found outside. However, if you want to use maybe flowers and leaves for your pattern, then you can do that. So right now, if you don't have things found in nature, some objects from nature, what you need to do is get an adult's permission to go outside and collect some, or have an adult go with you and collect some objects from nature. I would just find two types of things to collect. So like I'm using rocks and flowers. You may want to use flowers and leaves, or you may want to use pine cones and sticks. But find two things found from nature and collect a bunch of them, okay? So if you need to go and do that, go ahead and pause the video. But if you're ready to go, let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a rock, and I'm going to start with my biggest rock. So I'm going to start, this rock is pretty big, right about here. And I'm going to place my rock right about there. Okay. Next, I'm going to place a flower for the pattern. So a repeating element, so it goes rock and then flower. And then it's going to go rock, flower, a repetition of those elements, those organic shapes. Next, I'm going to find a rock that's just a little bit smaller than my first rock. Let me see. This one may work. Well, let's go back to this one. This one will probably be a good one. I'm going to end up creating a spiral design, so that's why I'm going in this direction. So I've got rock, flower. Rock, I need another flower. So I'm going to place a flower right there. Now I'm going to go back, find a rock that's just about this size or a little bit smaller, so this one will work. Place it like that. So I've got rock, flower, rock. So the next shape that I will need, organic shape, is a flower. And I'm trying to space them out evenly. So see the distance between this rock and flower is, I want it to be about the same distance as the distance between this rock and this flower, and this rock and this flower. So let me see if I can find one that will be an okay rock to use, the shape of a rock. So there I go. So now you guessed it right, I need a flower, and that's going to be the organic shape that I use right here. Push it over just a little bit. So now let's see if I can find a rock that's just a little bit smaller. That one's just a little bit smaller. So I'm going to place that rock right there, but I don't actually like the way that rock is not looking similar to the others. So this is where my rocks are going to go a little bit smaller. I'm going to place my next rock just like that. And then grab another flower. And see, it's going to start curving inward. So I'm going to raise it up a little bit, that flower. And I'm going to grab another rock. That one will work. Place it right there. Grab another flower. Place it right there. I'm going to grab another rock that's a little bit smaller than that one. That will work. And see how I'm just curving it inward. Grab another flower. Place it right there. Next, I want to grab, let's see, one that's a little bit smaller than the ones I've been using. So that one, see if that one works. Then I'm going to grab another flower. Place it right there in the center. So let's go ahead. I've got some more rocks that are big, so I'm going to add some just to take up a little bit more of the paper. But first, before I add them, I need to add a flower right there. And then I've got a big rock. Yeah, that one's a little bit bigger, and I'll just switch these two because this one's bigger than this rock. So now you can sort of go through and fine tune. If you see that there are larger gaps in between, you can just go through and fix those. But there we've created a pretty cool design and pattern out of rocks and flowers, and you could have created yours with something else, but we go rock, flower, 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 rock, flower. Okay, so now I'm going to clean the slate. If you want to, you can take a picture of yours, or you can just keep it like that and in the video. But now I'm going to try to create a spiral pattern using just my rocks. And again, these are organic shapes, so these are shapes that are found in nature. These are not like your geometric perfect shapes, like perfect circles, perfect squares, perfect triangles. So let me go ahead and empty these. And let's go ahead and try to build a spiral pattern using just my rocks. So first I'm going to take this big rock. So the biggest of my rocks right there. Next I'm going to take a smaller rock, and I'll even put them closer together. This time we'll put them closer together. Take another rock that's just a little bit smaller than the one I just used. Take another rock that's a little bit smaller. The next rock that's a little bit smaller. My next rock that's a little bit smaller. This one's probably the next smallest rock that I have. And I'm going to make it curve inward. May have to go and make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so let's see, that rock is good for right there. This will be a good rock, and remember it's going to curve inward, so I'm not going to bring it down and connect it with this big rock. Let's see, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that. I'm going to try to, and if at any time you see that the rock that you just laid down is a little bit bigger than the last one, just switch places with them. Let's see, this one. And then this one. Maybe switch those two. And then grab my next one that's going to be a little bit smaller. My next one's going to be a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. A little bit smaller, and then my two smallest. So I've got one like that. And then that should be the very center, and that should be the end piece. So there we've got a really cool spiral pattern made out of organic shapes, and the organic shapes are the rocks. So what you can do, because these won't really glue to the paper, but if you did this along with me, you can take a picture of it, and then you can print out that picture and hang that picture up wherever you want. So once you've got it all laid out, if you want to change a little bit here and there, you can go back and rearrange your objects. But that is my finished project, and it's a lot. There are some artists that do nature art and create it. Andy Goldsworthy is one. So they create patterns like this in nature, and they'll take pictures of them. They do some really cool things with different types of objects found in nature. But we created our very own nature piece of art, and we created a pattern, which is just a repetition of art elements. Ours is a repetition of organic shapes, which are shapes found in nature like these rocks, because they're not really perfect circles, but they're sort of like a circular or a square shape. Okay? So I hope everybody has an awesome rest of your day, and goodbye.